Once upon a time, in a dense forest, a group of young birds faced a dilemma. These feathered friends were in quite a pickle. Their home, a cozy nest, was on the verge of falling apart. They tried everything they could think of, from gathering fresh twigs to trying to weave the old ones back together. But alas, their little wings and beaks were not quite up to the task. Their nest, once a safe haven, was now a mess of loosely tangled twigs and leaves. The young birds were at their wits' end. The problem was too big for their tiny selves to handle. They were in dire need of a solution, and fast. They felt helpless, their chirps filled with worry echoing through the forest. Feeling helpless and lost, one of the young birds suggested, "Why don't we ask the old wise owl for advice?" So they flew to the oldest tree in the forest where the wise owl lived. In the heart of the forest, atop a creaky old tree, resided the wise owl. Known far and wide for his wisdom and insight, he was the go-to guide for all the creatures in the forest. Today, it was the young birds who sought his counsel. They chirped out their problems, their voices filled with worry and confusion. The wise owl listened intently, his eyes glinting with understanding. He let out a soft hoot and began to speak. His advice was simple. "Work together, my young friends. Use what you have wisely. There is strength in unity and wisdom in using resources judiciously." The young birds looked at each other, skepticism etched on their faces. Could the answer really be this straightforward? They decided to give it a try, their hearts filled with a glimmer of hope. "It may seem too simple," said the wise owl, "but remember, wisdom often lies in simplicity." With a glimmer of hope, the young birds returned to their nest. The air was filled with a renewed sense of purpose as they started to implement the wise owl's advice. Working together, they used every twig, every leaf, every resource with thoughtfulness and care. The once broken nest began to take shape, stronger and cozier than before. As they watched their home come back to life, a sense of realization dawned on the young birds. The wise owl's words were not just advice, they were valuable lessons, a guiding beacon in their time of need. They understood the importance of seeking guidance, especially from those older and wiser. Through their shared efforts and the wisdom of the owl, the young birds had not only repaired their nest, but they had also built a stronger bond among themselves. And so the young birds learned a valuable lesson that day. Wisdom often comes with age, and it's always wise to seek advice when in need.